Hello guys, my name is Marina and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my friend Tanya.
Hi!
We live in Cyprus for about 4 years and we decided to make our video podcast when we will speak about Cyprus, about living in Cyprus and our friends, about interesting people. And today we have a special guest.
This is Zoran. He came from Germany to Cyprus a couple of years ago, and today we want to ask him why. Hello Zoran, can you introduce yourself a little bit for our followers?
Yeah, sure. Hello, my name is Zoran. I'm 35 years old. I'm IT consultant and I came here end of 2018 from Germany.
Why? Why you decided to leave Germany?
Actually, it's a long story. I could write a book about it, but I will not do it. Basically, it's I always had a dream to live Mediterranean lifestyle. You know, this is pretty common in Germany. A lot of people think about and dream about of having Mediterranean lifestyle, but most people think about countries like Spain, Portugal or Italy. And yeah, I wanted to do this. And when I became freelance IT consultant in Germany, I figured out that technically most of the times I work from home. I don't need to go to the customer's office so often. So then technically I could work wherever I want. And the other thing is I figured out pretty fast becoming self-employed or entrepreneur that I pay very, very, very high taxes in Germany. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see the reason why this is good to pay high taxes.
Can you tell how much?
Actually, it depends on how much income you have, but I would say tax plus hidden fees and costs and all the things you need to pay your taxes, everything, the full package is about 48,000, 50,000 euros per year.
Wow.
But how much percent is it of your income?
Percentage, it's not so easy to calculate. Germany has very complicated tax laws, but I can tell you, the highest class of tax payments, the highest rate, you start paying from 55,000 euros of income. Then you're in the highest class of taxes and you start to pay 42%, beginning from 55,000 onwards to 100 billions, whatever.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So you are in this... 42%, and then you have to pay your accountant to prepare your tax files, and then there are some hidden fees, like you have to be member of Chamber of Commerce. You cannot stop doing this. You have to be. It's mandatory.
You decided to move to Cyprus. Why Cyprus?
Yeah, what
you have other options. You told us about Italy, about
Spain.
Why Cyprus?
Actually, for me, I compared immigration programs all over the world. I wanted to go somewhere where I'm treated better than in Germany.
You have German passport, so you can easily come and work anywhere you want.
Especially in Europe.
In Europe, I can move wherever I want. Just take an apartment and say I'm living here now. It's easy. This idea started in 2018. I compared a lot of immigration programs from all over the world, and basically I wanted to stay in Europe somewhere because of time zones. I have to look for the working hours of my customers who are sitting in Germany, so I cannot move to Thailand, Vietnam or to South America because of the time shift, the time zones. So, and at the end of the story, basically I had to decide between Portugal and Cyprus. They both have very good immigration programs. So, and I was so close to move to Portugal already, to Lisbon. And then overnight they changed this double tax treaty with Germany that instead of paying 0% tax, I had to pay 20% flat tax. So, and it's not a problem of paying 20% flat tax. It's more like if they can change it over the night, what else they can change overnight without announcement. So they decided, okay, more important is planning security than paying low taxes. And then I looked to Cyprus. They have this non-dom program. And if I get this status, which is easy as a European citizen, you have planning security for 17 years and also pay low taxes.
It means that they will not change your percent of taxes during these 70 years, right?
Yes, 17 years, they cannot change it. Once you get it, they cannot change it. And then I decided, okay, let's try Cyprus.
You decided everything, you came to Cyprus. How you choose Limassol? Why Limassol?
Well, actually, when I came here, I've never been to Cyprus before. I had no idea about Cyprus. I knew, okay, it's an island somewhere in the Mediterranean Sea. It's divided. The capital is Nicosia. I know because of the football team playing there, playing Champions League, and I had no idea. So I just booked a flight ticket on 3rd of October 2018. I came here for the first time.
Maybe you have some friends who live here who moved before?
Nobody.
No.
Yeah. It was so super extremely, to be honest.
I came here totally alone. Never been to Cyprus before, sitting on the plane, and I had a plan to do 2 things. First thing, I will found a company. I will set up my company here, and I will find an apartment to live. And at that time, I planned to live in Larnaca. But this was my goal and my plan.
Why Larnaca?
Yeah, because the German community, most of the Germans, they're living in Larnaca, and we also have our Facebook groups here, and we have some blogs and websites talking about these immigration programs, moving abroad and all this stuff. And for Cyprus, it was like most of the Germans are still living in Larnaca.
Yeah, to be honest, before I met you, I didn't know that a lot of Germans live in Larnaca. Yeah, it was surprised for me. Yeah,
I know that in Paphos there are lots of Chinese people.
Chinese, yeah, in Limassol it's a lot of Russians, and that's it.
Yes, that's all.
Yeah, so I started in Larnaca, and the first month I had an Airbnb apartment in Oroklini in Larnaca, and I planned to live in Larnaca, but then the first week I checked out Larnaca, and it was like, coming from Germany, it looks a little bit, let's say, underdeveloped. I think I don't want to live here, so let's check out the other parts of the island. Okay, Nicosia is no-go because I don't want to live in the Mediterranean Sea and then living in the middle of the island.
No sea.
Yeah, I want to live next to the sea, so no Nicosia. Then Ayia Napa, yeah, nice, looks very beautiful, but in the winter times you're living there alone, and during summer times you're surrounded by drunk tourists.
Yes.
No, thank you. And then I checked Paphos, and Paphos is like super nice and beautiful, but too small and too quiet, and basically a lot of retirement people, pensioners living there, and no, not the community I want to surround myself with. And then one day I was driving the motorway from Larnaca to Paphos. And then I came over this hill here in Sigi somewhere. I came over this hill and I saw the skyline of Limassol. And it was lunchtime and the sun was shining and the city was just bling bling and shiny and big. And it looked like a city. And I was like, I want to live there.
Yes.
Nowhere else. I go there. I'm searching for an apartment there. No matter what the city is, I live there.
Okay, you're in Limassol. You like the city. You're alone. Do you have friends here?
Community.
Yes, of course I have friends. Actually, I was a little bit worried when I came here. I was also like, okay, will I find community here? Will I find friends here? I came as a single. I had quit or stopped the relationship like a couple of months before I came here. And this was also a concern. So will I find a girlfriend and will I find community? And actually everything went super easy. I was worried about this, but I wasn't expecting this because at the beginning I was hanging around in Larnaca with this German community, but let's say it's different types of Germans.
So you even just come and you already have German community?
Let's say I was online, I was connected via these Facebook groups with a bunch of German people, and I met them in Larnaca, and every first Wednesday in a month in Larnaca, in a restaurant, the German community is meeting.
Like and you have your own, place?
Yeah, in German we call it Stammtisch, but it's hard to explain this in English. But it's like Germans come together, sit at a restaurant, and once a month they meet and connect with each other and all this stuff. This is like German culture and tradition to do this. Yeah, so I would say the Germans you meet here in Cyprus are not the typically Germans you meet in Germany. Because the Germans who move abroad, they are like sick of Germany, or they are a little bit different than the average German. That's why they go abroad. So, but even I would say the city is separating the mindset of the Germans living in this island already. In Paphos, you have these old retired people. They had their career. They're living from pension money. They do their nature stuff, going outside to the nature and enjoying their life because they're old and retired. And in Larnaca, it's more like open-minded, free spirit, a more esoteric community. And it's maybe it's not fair to say, but from my point of view, it's more like one wannabe entrepreneurs in Larnaca. It's this community. That's why I'm living in Limassol. Here I easily found my friends. I would say the Germans living in Larnaca are way different than the Germans living in Limassol. I would say not just me, also my friends living here. When you're in Limassol, you already have a running business. You know who you are. You make your profit. You have business. Blah blah blah. You can afford to live in Limassol because it's a little bit more expensive. The Germans in Larnaca, they are like a lot of young people also, and so in online marketing, also starting YouTube channels. Maybe they're at the beginning of their career. They're not making the profits. They need to live a little bit like cheaper, and I would say that's why they are in Larnaca.
But we didn't ask you, was it easy to run a company in Cyprus? Was it easy to start it?
For foreign, not for Cypriot.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, because I was using an agency in Larnaca to set up my company. It was easy. Their sales team was speaking German. They have some German speakers available, and I went there. I came here 3rd of October 2018, and I think on 4th or 5th of October I was already in this office, had an appointment. Of course, I booked an appointment before I came here. I was sitting with them and they explained me everything in German. That's how you found the company, that's how this is working, we do bookkeeping for you, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, I would say it was easy, but yeah, lessons learned, it could have been better.
As a result, is it became better for you to have a business in Cyprus than to have it in Germany?
Of course, of course. There are a lot of, let's say, business benefits in Cyprus here. But actually, if you have to do business in Cyprus, if you set up your business here and your market is Cyprus and you want to earn money here in Cyprus, it's super hard. Very little people earn good money here in Cyprus. So, but I have my customers still in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, basically all over Europe. But my main market is like German-speaking market. So, means I consult my customers in Germany from here. Thanks to Corona, more remote than ever before. But the money is technically then flowing from Germany and Austria, Switzerland here to Cyprus. So doing business from here with these markets is super nice because these are the high earning markets where you can make a lot of money and then you bring it here. But if you have to do business here in Cyprus, like Airbnb business or any kind of business here in Cyprus, I would not do it. I will never do local business here. It's even my tax agents told me, if you want to do business in Cyprus, don't.
Okay, yeah.
And can I have one question about cost of living here in Cyprus and there in Germany?
Germany is different. It depends where you live in Germany. Your costs of living strongly depend where you live.
So where
just your experience.
Yes,
from my experience, yeah, I'm from Hanover, or as in Russian you say Ganover. Ganover. I would say then here Limassol is more expensive.
Limassol is more expensive?
Of course, way more expensive.
Than Ganover.
I would compare it. Limassol is as expensive as if you would live in the two best cities of Germany. It's like price level of Munich or of Düsseldorf. So Limassol for me as a German is very expensive, especially when it comes to rent, to housing prices, buying and also renting housing.
Really?
And from the food costs, I would say it's roughly about the same as in Germany. But in Germany we have very competitive markets, so food costs are very low. And here the food costs a little bit higher, but it's an island. You have to import something. It's totally okay.
And what about traveling abroad?
Is it easier to travel from Cyprus or on the? I guess no. Yeah.
No, because here it's a holiday island. So from Larnaca or Paphos, you can go to the big hubs, like you can go to Moscow, to Istanbul, to Frankfurt or London, and then fly to the world. So
in Germany it was much easier.
Actually, yes. In Germany, I was taking the train. The high-speed train going to Frankfurt and then flying everywhere. It's international hub, and Cyprus does not have international, not good connections international.
Okay, so you moved to Cyprus. You dreamed about Mediterranean life, and what did you get?
What did I get? Well, I get 330 days or 320 days of sunshine.
So you're absolutely satisfied?
Of course. I mean, it's the mood. I have way better mood in Cyprus than in Germany, because here you wake up, You open the window and the sun is shining. I mean, today is 28th of December, sun is shining, and the sun is always shining. And when you wake up and the sun is already shining, it's you have a good mood for the day already. And in Germany, it's like in summer you have it as well most of times, but yeah, Germany is more like a gray and rainy country besides the 3 months of summer. And I remember sometimes when I was employed as a consultant, on Monday morning I had to wake up at 5 o'clock or 4:30 to get ready, to go to the airport, to fly to Vienna, to be at 9 o'clock in the customer office in Vienna. And the sun showed up at like 8:30. So you were like 4, 5, 6 hours running already in the day, and then finally there was sunlight. You can imagine how your mood will be if you then arrive at your customer's site in Vienna like Monday morning. So, but this is totally different in Cyprus.
Okay, do you want to say that Cyprus does not have disadvantages?
Well, of course it has disadvantages. But
Can you compare this with Germany?
Yeah, sure. It's just the point of view. I mean, I come from Germany. This is an industrial country. Industrialized, highly industrialized country. Everything is working. Everything is working. You expect that everything is working, and everything is working. And then you come to Cyprus, and basically at the beginning it was a shock, like nothing is working. But it's, of course, because Cyprus is not an industrialized nation. It's an island, basically a holiday island, and also Limassol some business. But it's an island. It has this island mentality, and you have to accept this. It's not an industrialized nation, and the mindset on this island is
Siga.
Yeah, siga. Because if you go to Crete or to other islands or to the Canary Islands, it is the same because it's an island. And coming from this highly industrialized nation where everything is like fast forward, driven, working, you come here and it's like, holy shit, where am I? Nothing is working. You have to get used to this. You have to accept this. If you cannot accept this, I think you will never be happy living here.
Did you have your adaptation time?
Yes, I learned it the hard way. I'm a big fan of the countryside and the nature. Because especially here in Limassol, the beach is like, I don't know, 300, 400 meters away. You can go to the beach every day, and then you drive half an hour and you're basically in Troodos Mountains already. So you have the mountains and the sea, and you can both do it in one day. This is super beautiful. The area where I'm coming from, Hannover, it's flatland. It's flat. Hundreds kilometers around you, it's flat. You have no mountains, you have no sea, it's just flat. So for me here, the nature, the beauty of the nature is stunning.
But you have mountains in Germany.
Yes, in the south, it's far away from me.
You've never been there?
I've been there, but it's like 800 kilometers away. From German point of view, this is quite some distance to travel.
So you don't miss mountains, German mountains?
No, I did not have them. So.
Or do you miss about something in Germany?
Well, if you ask like this...
Maybe beer?
Actually, you can buy German beer and sausage here. There's
no problem.
There's a good Bavarian restaurant where you can get real authentic German food if you want.
Yeah, I went there once. Just once.
What do I miss?
In Germany, yeah.
I miss to drive fast on the motorway.
Wow.
I know it's so stereotyped, but yeah. I still miss the efficiency in the processes here, what I said. Coming from this industrialized nation, everything is working, and if you want something here from the government, you have to go there, then they send you there, and then you call, and they give you numbers, and then, oh, this document is not stamped, and everything is like more confusing. You have to be more active to get what you want. So this is still, I still have to get used to this, I would say.
And what about girls?
Yeah, actually, this was one of the two concerns I had, which I mentioned before, like, will I find a girlfriend here? And as I had no idea about Cyprus, I came here and I thought, okay, maybe you will find a nice Cypriot girl. And then I came here, and especially then in Limassol, it's like, it's full of Russians. I had no idea. And then I was like, okay, so now you have the option of having Cyprus girlfriend, or you can go for Russian girlfriend.
And no options Between
What
just
else?
Cyprus and Russia?
Yeah,
Germans.
There are not many German women here. And the women who are here, they mostly came with their boyfriend or husband already. So I would say German women are not available here. So it's basically a decision between Cypriot women and Russian women from my point of view.
Wow. Actually, yes, maybe he's right because...
Or not just Russian, let's say Eastern European women, also like Ukrainian, Estonian and all this stuff.
Russian-speaking.
Russian-speaking women, yeah. So actually at the beginning it was like, okay, I don't know anything about Cypriot women and I don't know anything about Russian women. And then it started. I have to mention that I met my friends pretty fast. I moved to Limassol. When was it? Like end of October. Like I came here 3rd of October and I think 20th or 25th of October in 2018, like 3 weeks later, I moved to Limassol. And 2 days later, I met all of my friends. Also
super fast.
Super fast. And they're still my friends because a friend of mine, Ella, and she came with her husband, Dominic, from Munich. And they were also new in Limassol. They arrived 2 days before me and Ella posted something in one of the Facebook groups like, hey, we are new to Limassol. I booked a table for Friday evening at Dionysius Mansion. Who wants to join, feel free to come. I showed up there and all of my friends showed up on this evening.
Wow.
So basically after 2 days I found all of my friends and we are still good friends, best friends,
just
I would
like
say.
Magic story of Cinderella.
Yeah, it's like this. I didn't expect it to be so easy. I was also positively surprised. And then comes the story with the Russian woman. All of the friends I have, except this Dominic and Ella.
German friends.
Yes, they all have Russian women. Girlfriend or already married. One of my friends, Philip, he came from Malta, but he also brought his Russian wife. They were married already. He brought his Russian wife. They met in Malta. And the other people I met here, they're here since a couple of years. They also have a Russian girlfriend or a wife. And I was seeing this pattern and I was like, okay, it looks like there is a pattern. All the German guys have Russian or Russian-speaking wives or girlfriends. And since long time already, it must be working. I saw that there must be a reason for this. And then I thought, okay, I should try this out as well. And when I became more closer with my friends, of course, we talked about women's stories, their experience with Cypriot women. 2 of my friends, they're living here since 4 or 5 years already. And of course, they had experience with Cyprus women. And what can I say? Their experience was like, they're married to Russian women now, what else to say? It's their experience. And I talked to them and they all recommended me go for Russian women. Really? It's like, okay, I'm listening to you. You have the experience. I do it.
I just have a question. Sorry. I have an important question. Are you happy now?
Of course. How did I find them? I think I started online. Like this special app called Tinder. I just started using it and seeing, okay, like you swipe through Tinder and you see like half of the women are like Russian speaking, the other half are Cypriot. That's also why I came to the conclusion there are either Cypriot or Russian speaking women available. And for whatever reason, I matched mostly with Russian women. Really. It's common sense. Everybody in the world says that Slavic women are the most beautiful on average.
What else to say? Okay.
So your life here is very good. Now you have friends, you have a girlfriend, you have a good apartment. You don't want to leave Cyprus. You want to stay here.
At the moment, I do not see any reason why I should leave Cyprus. It's actually, I work to everything I have right now. I worked for it. And I wanted to have this. That was the reason I worked towards this goal of having everything what I have now in Cyprus. And I'm super happy with this because I wanted it, I worked for it, and now I have it. And at the moment, I don't see any reason why I should change this. My life, I would say, my life is way better than in Germany now. Way better, but it's what I want. If, let's say, an average German person is watching this, and coming here, maybe their life would not be so good because they have different requirements, different needs, different expectations. It's all about the expectations you set yourself, and then you put in the work to make it reality. And then you see if it's really what you want, or if you already had like wrong expectation or wrong plans in your life. So for me, coming here and doing all of this stuff, it was basically a journey, and I'm super happy with the result right now. But that doesn't mean that I will stop now and settle here and do nothing. I have more plans, other plans now, and Cyprus is a very good place for developing my new plans. I'm also changing career right now, becoming consulting coach, and offering coaching programs to consultants in Germany, like how to basically achieve the same goals, like build your own business, move abroad if you don't like Germany anymore, save taxes and all this stuff. And this idea was growing here in Cyprus. If I would have stayed in Germany, this idea would never have come to my mind. So as I said, it's you adapt to your environment where you are in.
It's normal for German people to go abroad, to live abroad.
In general, I would say no. It's very unusual for Germans to leave Germany, but I would say it changed in 2015. Around 2015, 2016, it changed. And nowadays, more people than ever before are leaving Germany and not coming back.
Do you feel safe in Cyprus?
I feel super safe in Cyprus, yeah.
So it's much more safe than in Germany now.
Yes. I mean, you come to Starbucks, you go to the table, you leave your phone and your wallet, then you go order a coffee, then you go to toilet and you come back, everything is still on the table, nobody touches it.
So you want to stay here and you want to get a Cyprus passport?
Yes. And
why?
Why not? If I can get it after living here for 7 years, I can get Cyprus passport. I just have to raise my hand, apply for it, and they will give it to me. Why should I not take it?
But is it better? Yeah, well, is it better than German passport?
No, technically I don't need it.
Technically
I don't need it, but why should I not take it if they're giving it to me for free?
Just for fun, you mean?
Yeah, just for fun.
Okay.
Yeah, why not having 2 passports? What's wrong with having 2 passports?
Maybe 3?
Or maybe even 3. It's giving you options. You can diversify. So, for example, in the US, you are taxed by passport. That's US and I think Eritrea are the only 2 countries who have taxation by citizenship. No matter if you're as an American, you live in Dubai, you pay 0 taxes in Dubai, you pay your taxes in the US.
Yes.
And I'm 100% sure that more countries in the world are implementing this taxation by passport system. For example, last year it was introduced in South Africa. And I'm pretty sure it's like a test balloon how such a transition of a country can happen. And I'm pretty sure next one is then European Union trying to implement such taxation by passport laws. And then when I'm taxed by my German passport, I'm really lucky to have a Cyprus passport, because I think if Germans starting it, I have way more years to go until Cyprus will start it, if they ever start it.
Maybe you have the reason to move to another country. You're just like, okay, let's try now Italy, or maybe Portuguese, or maybe why not, you know?
Yeah, actually, it's also kind of a plan. It's called second residency. Setting it up somewhere in another continent. So I like Europe. I like to live in Europe. I like everything, nature, culture. But as kind of diversification strategy, it's also good to have, let's say, a second home somewhere in an Asian country. I think to South America I would not go, because you're like always the gringo. You need to learn Spanish, and it's a very, very different culture. Even if South Americans are also white and looking like us, their mindset is like totally different. And if I have to leave Cyprus, I'm not planning to leave Cyprus soon. I like to stay here, but I would not go back to Germany. Even if I have to leave Cyprus for whatever reason, it's not in my head to go back to Germany. I would search for another place. For example, I'm a big fan of Malaysia. I've been there already backpacking a couple of weeks. Big fan of Malaysia, for example. So then I would rather move to Malaysia or to another country than back to Germany.
And what do you think about United States of America?
I've never been there. I mean, I've been to Australia already. I've also been to Morocco and some African countries, backpacked Asia. But the American continent, I never stepped on the American continent. So I do not really have an opinion about the US. But what I see from the news, I mean, it's not real life, it's news. I would not like to live in the US. Canada, yes, but not like US, because I think they have very, very big problems in their society. And I think when I see the news, I'm always thinking the US is so close to have civil war. So the society, it's, I don't know, but it's, as I said, I've never been there. It's just my opinion, what I have seen on news.
Yeah, okay, let's back to Cyprus. I have a question for you. Isn't it boring here for you? Compare with Germany, because it's not so much culture places like theaters, museums, exhibitions.
Exhibitions, yeah. Got it. In Limassol, you have at least one of everything. Means if you want to go to the cinema, you have at least one halfway good cinema. If you want to go to a nice Italian restaurant, you have at least one good Italian restaurant, and so on. At least one you have. Of course, if you live in a big city like Munich, of course you have more of everything. It's a city like 1.1 million people. It's bigger and everything is more. But does it get boring here? I would say no. It depends what kind of entertainment you need and you want. Do I need to go to the theater like Bolshoi and watch them dancing every week? No. It's not my type of entertainment. Maybe when I grow older, it will be more important. But for what I need, I have everything here in Cyprus. And at the moment, we have Corona times all over the world. We have nothing everywhere.
And what about architecture? You have very beautiful architecture in Germany.
Of course.
And in Cyprus, no.
I mean, it depends. I like this luxury villas, this Bauhaus style. I like this kind of architecture. This you will not really find in Germany.
Yes.
So from an architecture point of view, of course, if you look outside the normal average houses, it's not interesting. But if you go out of the city, sometimes we found beautiful houses already in the mountains. When we were looking for a house, an apartment in the mountains, they were like in the mountains, and you had a nice window with a view over the city. So you can find it if you look for it. Yeah. But of course, the style is different. It's Mediterranean style.
Do you have in Limassol, I mean, something like your places where you always can find German people?
No, not in Limassol. In Larnaca, at Finicudis, there are some bars for digital nomads where Germans regularly meet to, they say they work together. But in Limassol, we do not have such a place. No, we don't have it. But I mean, there are not so many Germans here in Limassol, as far as I know. And when I want to do something with my Germans, I just call my friends, hey, let's go to this and this place for Friday evening, and then this is the German place to meet. It really works like this. Actually, me and my friends, we are setting the places where to meet with the Germans. And then, of course, we also invite other people. Sometimes we invite some people from Larnaca, we know from Paphos, or some of my friends have business partners as guests here on the island. They bring them to this place. So when I meet with my, let's say, 10 best friends here, we're always like 15, 20 people because some other people join. So as I said, we set the place here in Limassol.
What is your favorite place in Limassol?
I would say, especially during summer, I like to be outside at the beach somewhere. And when it's getting a little bit colder, going to the mountains. I wouldn't say there's one special place, because there's, for restaurants, I like Uzia restaurant. Yeah, they have really good quality food. And also, that's Amore, and it's run by 2 Italian women. And they're really Italian women. They know what they are doing. You get super good Italian food there. For local food, for souvlaki, Aristos and Kiki. In Mutayakia, next to Metro supermarket, Aristos and Kiki. If you've never been there, from outside it looks like, what the fuck? But if you go inside and you eat, oh my gosh, it's the best souvlaki you can get.
Nightlife, you mean you come single? So
Of course, before Corona times,
Yes,
especially in
before
20.
Corona time.
Yeah, really,
Everything
really.
was before and after now. Yeah.
Now you have nothing basically anymore at the moment. But in 2019, it was my first year here, my first full year, my first summer. Me and my friends, we had so much party. We went out every weekend. It was like the summer, the second best, maybe best or second best summer of my life. And we went to basically to bedroom most evenings, to bedroom, or sometimes we went to breeze, or we did own private parties at some villas somewhere in the mountains. It was amazing. Even boat trips we did with this, I forgot the name of the company. We rented a boat for Nico's birthday, 20 people on the boat, nice catamaran trip for 8 hours.
Thank you very much. It was such an interesting talk.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for interviewing me. It was also my pleasure to talk with you.